Hardware system verification, the real story behind capacity. By Vijay Chavisa, Senior Director of the Product Management Hardware System Verification, CDA. The wider design engineers contemplate the power and performance and error calculation of an SoC design. Their verification counterparts are thinking about whether the hardware emulation and prototyping platform available to them has enough capacity to complete the system-level verification task. This is particularly true for verifying the hardware functionality with complex software workloads. Here is where the concept of the usable capacity is an important metric and often misunderstood, especially in the era of skyrocketing gate count 2.5 dimension D and 3D IC stacking and chiplet. And massive software workloads, verification engineers need to know upfront that their hardware verification platform requires usable capacity to verify the SoC at the system level. To verify large and complex design like these, verification needs a platform that can handle the capacity scaling deterministic and repetitive way. For example, emulating 1 billion gauge count design versus 1 billion gauge is different, and a process significant scaling challenging up the both of the software and hardware. The only aspect it is the complexity of the software workload. For certain applications like AI/ML and high-performance computing, the type and number of the workloads needed at the system level are large and long and can run for billions of cycles. A hardware verification platform must be able to reliably deliver usable capacity to run long workloads uninterrupted. So that leads to an important concept. There is a difference between the spec specification, the capacity quoted by the vendor, and usable capacity, the capacity delivered by the hardware verification system with an SoC compiled on the hardware. Let you look at the scenario where a verification group is verifying a design that requires 10 billion gates of hardware capacity, which could be emulation capacity or prototyping capacity. The group purchases a hardware-assisted verification platform with 10 billion gate capacity based on the spec capacity advertised by the vendor. When the group begins assembling the SoC and building a platform for verification, trouble sets in. The design does not fit in the hardware verification platform. At this point, the verification team is pushing against time, needing to complete the verification before they move to tape out. It comes down to the two options: buy more capacity or modify the verification plan for the design. The former, buy more capacity, needs a budget that may or may not be approved. The latter, modifying the verification plan, means creating mock-up models and partial verification and running the risk of fully verifying the system. This scenario highlights the need to understand the difference between the spec capacity and the usable capacity. Spec capacity is the measurement done in an ideal environment. Usable capacity is put the system into real-world scenarios, loading a real-world design and executing workloads to establish capacity requirements. A usable capacity gap can vary across emulation and prototyping platforms available from the different EDA vendors depending on the technology and architecture. The Boolean processor-based hardware severe power challenges occur when connecting multiple tools to build a configuration large enough to manage massive design. Verifying a large 8 to 10 2 billion gauge designs become potential problems as connecting multiple machines degrades usable capacity and reliability. The same is true for hardware verification platforms built with commercial FPGA. The reality is that capacity scaling is not linear. If one tool delivers a capacity of 3 billion gates and 4 are connected, it does not add up to 12 billion gates usable capacity. As hardware verification vendors become more forthcoming about the capacity, scaling, the reliability of today's hardware verification platforms, the concept of usable capacity will outweigh the claims of spec capacity. When that happens, design verification teams can evaluate the performance hardware, evaluate the best hardware verification options for their needs. Next article is Intel halts the product slow roadmap in a long turnaround. Okay, the Intel has scrapped product launched and slowed its process technology roadmap as it embarks on a path toward a rebound that will take years, according to the analysts surveyed by the EE Times. The company's new top management, Michelle Holthaus and David Zinsner, are more realistic on challenges from the competitor like AMD and processors and TSMC and the foundry business, according to C.J. Muth, Senior Managing Director of Cantor Fitzgerald. The Intel's new co-CEOs hosted their first conference call with commentary balanced and realistic, highlighting the meaningful challenges ahead at Intel and the view that there are no quick fixes, unfortunately. Muth said in a report provided to EE Times. So last week, Intel reported that the company swung to a loss of $126 million in Q4 2024 from a profit of $2.67 billion in the same period a year earlier. It's been roughly 2 months since Holthaus and Zinsner took the helm as interim co-CEOs, replacing predecessors Per Gessinger. Zinsner is the Chief Financial Officer, CFO, and Holthaus has a newly created position of CEO of this Intel product, a group including a client computing, data center, and AI and network and edge business unit. Intel has lost market share in its core CPU business to AMD, while failing to enter a new businesses like a smartphone and AI chips. The Intel's effort to divest its chip-making unit, Intel Foundry, as a stand-alone business is likely to take years. Intel Foundry needs to catch up with foundry leaders TSMC. From day one, we have been working closely together alongside the board to drive better execution of our strategy. Holthaus said in the prepared comment, "There are no quick fixes and we are committed to improving our performance and rebuilding our credibility through the persistency, hard work that delivers tangible result. The new credibility, including a slowdown in a ramp of the 18A node, the Intel expected will bring the company abreast with the TSMC process technology, according to Bernstein's research managing director, Stacy Lasgon. While the commentary on behalf of the 18A, the process roadmap remained positive, they've now delayed the read product on that node. Clearwater Forest now pushed out a year the first half of the 2026. Lasgon said in a report provided in EE Time. Clearwater Forest is Intel's next generation Xeon data center processor incorporating the chiplet and 3D stacking. The reliance on the rivals, Intel, the largest US chip makers, will still rely on the rival TSMC and other chip makers supplied for a chiplet, which Intel referred to as a tile. Intel's outsourcing its competitors undermined the company's profitability. Still, the strategy helped the company launch a new product more quickly. They talked about the outsourcing mix increasing in the Nova Lake relative to the Panther Lake and discussed an openness to outsource of a future data center product, or which it make us nervous. Lasgon said in the Bernstein's report. Panther Lake will use Intel 18A process, Holthaus said on a conference call with an analyst. When you look forward to our next generation product for client, Nova Lake will actually have tires both inside and outside for that process. Intel has delayed the launch of the data center process Clearwater Forest to the first half of 2026, Holthaus said. Intel is also slowing the rollout of our other processor on 18A. The 18A Armstrong is doing just fine. The performance and yield for Granite Rapids, but it does have some complicated package expectation that move it to the 2026, Holthaus said. Granite Rapids is an Intel term for its sixth generation of Xeon server processor designed for HPC applications. Intel is to provide the data center customers with a complete solution, Holthaus said. We are going to be able to do that with the Jaguar Shores, she told analysts on the call. Falcon Shores will become an internal test chip. Falcon Shores, I'm sure, will help us in that process working on the system, networking, memory, or component functions, but our customers really want that whole rack-scale solution. Laskin voiced doubts about Intel's ability to compete in AI chips. The AI accelerator story looks dead with the cancellation of Falcon Shores as a sellable product, he said. Other analysts see the free Intel changes as a positive. Intel is showing up its roadmap and delivery schedules. More Insight chief analyst Patrick Moore had said in a post in LinkedIn. All in all, I think this last is good for the company. Price competition. Intel aims to be more price competitive, Jinser said. The cost structure is under some pressure, in particular, because of Luna Lake, he said. Intel product gross margins are going to be under pressure this year. Some of the parts have a higher cost. In particular, Luna Lake has a higher cost because it got the memory and a package and so on. We are basically buying the memory and turning around the sell it at the same price. That's actually bridging the margin down. The price is gonna be under price pretty much throughout this year. Intel will be far more aggressive on pricing for now, bridging even more the risk margin according to the Lasgon. That absolutely will impact the gross margin in the product, he said. There will be a lot of lift in that business unit throughout the year. It's really not until the Panther Lake comes that day. I think start to see some better cost structure. The capex cut. Intel will call it 2025 capex to about $20 billion. About half of that money will come from government subsidies and partner contributions. What you will see a lot of little time more conservatism around how we deploy the capital. Ginsberg said, we're built on a pretty significant balance in assets under construction to a tune of greater than $50 billion. So we actually have a lot of capital on the balance sheet that really hasn't been deployed. Intel has an agreement with the U.S. Department of Commerce (DOC) for award up to $7.86 billion in grants. The company received $1.1 billion in the Q4 2024 and an additional $1.1 billion in January this year. In addition, we continue to make a good progress building out our secure enclave and partnership With the Department of Defense, Jensen said, we look forward to continue engaging with the Trump administration as we advance their work to and support their effort to strengthen U.S. technology and manufacturing leadership. Last year, the DOC awarded Intel up to $7.9 billion in direct funding under CHIPS Act. The award will support Intel's expected U.S. investment of nearly $90 billion by the end of the decade, which is part of the company's over 100 plus billion dollar expansion plan. The DOC said in a statement of the time that the DOC added that it will disperse the fund based on Intel competition of unspecified project milestones. Yesterday said that he and White House have met the new Trump administration on several levels. While Trump said the CHIPS Act is so bad, the administration has yet to take a formal position on the legislation that aims to review the declining U.S. semiconductor industry. Haves and have not. The chip industry has split into AI haves and have not. TSMC, which makes AI chips for NVIDIA and others, has more orders than it can meet. Smaller founders like Samsung or Intel are struggling to find customers. TSMC plans to spend between the $38 billion and $42 billion on capex in 2025, nearly doubling the Intel's forecasted expenditures. Samsung has not disclosed its capex plans for this year. In a statement on a 2024 result, Samsung said profit for its foundry business decreased due to the lower fab utilization rate and higher R&D expenses for advanced node technology. Samsung said its most advanced 2nm all-around technology is under development, while its 4nm processor is in production for HPC product. Okay, the next one is OpenAI chiefs that saw Fujitsu fueled speculation on chip partnership. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman speaks at the Roosevelt Room at the White House in Washington, January 21st, AFP and Yonhap. Sam Altman set to announce a surprise collab with Kakao. The expectations are growing that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman could sign a big surprise deal with Korea semiconductor powerhouses Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix during his upcoming Seoul visit in a move to strengthen the chip supply chain in an era of artificial intelligence (AI). The Altman, the creator of the AI chatbot ChatGPT, plans to attend the Builder Lab developer workshop on Tuesday, where around 100 tech industry officials are expected to gather. This marks the first time the OpenAI will hold its own event in Korea. All eyes on whether he will meet the Korean chip moguls to elevate the partnership. According to the industry, SK Group chairman Chae Tae-won is highly likely to hold a closed-door meeting with the Altman for a broad range of agendas, such as AI services, data centers and bandwidth memory, HBM chips. SK Hynix, a chip affiliate of the group, is now enjoying its heyday on its preemptive inroads into HBM chips crucial for AI services. The chip makers maintain close ties with NVIDIA, a group of global big tech with a rapid rise of AI and its subsequently strong impact on other industries. This will be the first time to 8 months that heads of the two companies will possibly meet each other after a Chase visit to San Francisco in June 2024. However, it also remains to be seen whether Altman will also hold talks with the Samsung Electronics Executive Chairman Lee Jae-yong. In January 2024, Altman met the key Samsung executives in charge of firm's memory chip businesses and foundry operations. He also visited He also visited the steelmaker's major production line in Pyeongtaek in Gyeonggi Province. On the same date, he met the Che and SK Hynix CEO Kwang No-jung. Both Samsung and SK on Monday declined to confirm any potential meeting with their top executives and Altman in Seoul. SK Group Chairman Dae Chae-won speaks during a media event in the sidelines of this year's CES in Las Vegas on January 8, courtesy of SK Groups. Given ultimately keen interest of Korea, another major agenda is when OpenAI will be able to open an office in Seoul. In April last year, the company set up its first Asian office in Tokyo, and then they expanded to its foothold in the region by building another office in Singapore. Rumors as our office will open by the end of 2025. Following the Building Lab event, Altman will discuss its partnership with Kakao by attending the later planned press conference. Kakao is the operator of Korea's leading mobile messenger. Kakao CEO Chang-Shin and Altman will share details on how they will strengthen the AI ties during the upcoming event. Last year, Kakao unveiled its vision to launch its own AI model called Kanana, with the company set to introduce it to the public sometime around the first quarter of this year, 2025. And the chances that Kakao utilized the AI model from the OpenAI for the operation of the Kanana. As the head of the OpenAI is sending the repeated gestures to deepen partnership with the developers and tech firms here, there stands a possibility that a company might open its own office faster than expected, an official from the tech industry said. In November, OpenAI forged a partnership with the Korea Development Bank to level up Korea's AI ecosystem. And then, Samsung and SK Hynix concerned over U.S. Commerce Secretary nominees plan to review chip subsidies. Howard Lutnick, President Donald Trump's nominee for U.S. Secretary of Commerce, appears before the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation for his confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill in Washington. Wednesday, local time, AP Yonhap. Lutnick has expressed stronger protectionism over U.S. trade. The United States Secretary of the Commerce nominee has cast uncertainty over U.S. government promises subsidies to the Korean semiconductor makers as he called for a review of the program in line with the Donald Trump administration's skepticism about it. Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix, Korea's two main chip makers, are paying keen attention to whether the subsidies promised by the previous Joe Biden government for their U.S. investment would be delayed or, in the worst-case scenarios, cancelled. Howard Lutnick is Trump's peer to head the Department of Commerce, made relevant remarks during the Senate Commerce Committee's confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill in Washington, Wednesday, local time. They are part of his bigger agenda in boosting market competitiveness for Made in America goods by slapping more disadvantageous conditions on imports such as heavier tariffs. Earlier, the Biden administration introduced the CHIPS and Science Act to attract more global semiconductor companies to build manufacturing plants in the U.S. by offering subsidies to them. Prior to Trump's inauguration, the U.S. Commerce Department said in December it decided to provide Samsung Electronics with over $4.7 billion to support its chip making the investment in Texas, and SK Hynix with up to $458 billion for its investment in Indiana. When asked if he would carry on with the previous government subsidy the program, Lutnick said that he cannot guarantee until they analyze the program and understand it. We need to study it. We need to make sure that you get the benefit of the bargain and the domestic manufacturing happens in America, he said during the hearing. We want to look at the supply chain and bring it back to America. We want to create those great jobs in America, so that way we can go back to innovating, which is where we began. Intel began the chips, right? And the world was all over leveraged our chips. TSMC leveraged us and sort of took it from us. He added, TSMC, Taiwanese tech giant, which Trump has accused many times last year of stealing the U.S. chip industry. The Samsung Austin Semiconductor plant in Taylor, Texas, is seen in this April 16, 2024. Photo, AFP and Yonhap. Although the Lutnick said chips is an excellent down payment to begin the process of bridging semiconductor manufacturing in the U.S., when they asked if he will stick the chips programs, he said, "We get the money out appropriately and correctly and build in America. That is vital." Lutnick also adopted the Tony message to the countries trading with the U.S., singling out many of its allies, including Korea. Our great allies have taken advantage of our good nature, and they, like stealing Japan and the alliance in Korea, I mean that they have just taken advantage of us. He said, "It's time for them to partner with us and bring the production back home." Tariff influences in Korean firms. Besides the subsidy issues, Lutnick remarked that Trump threat to hit import with a heavier tariff have about tackling the Korean companies with overseas manufacturing bases. The tension specially identified shortly after Trump said that he would introduce 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada next month. Trump said the measure is a head start of his government's new trade policies with that introduce a universal tariff plan which aims to impose tariff to 10% to 20% on all imports. In response to these threats, Samsung is considering producing its laundry dryers in the U.S. state of the Southern Carolina instead of the Mexican state of the Querétaro. Samsung Electromechanics already put off its plan to build an automotive camera module factory in Mexico. LG Electronics is also to be considering the relocating its refrigerator production line from the Mexican city from the Nuevo Leon to the United States of Tennessee, which can accommodate the company's factories producing laundry machine and dryers. The company's chief financial officer Kim Chang-tae said that if the tariff hike is too rapid, the company can consider relocation of production bases and adjustment to its capacity. The Korean car makers face bigger difficulties relocating their factories due to the large size of their investment compared to home appliances manufacturers. This advantage also prevents batteries and other components produced from leaving Mexico and Canada for a while. POSCO International, which supplies traction motor cores for Kia electric vehicle, said it will keep its factory in Mexico unless Korean car makers giantly relocate its neighbor factory to another country. Okay, thank you for your time. See you next time.